Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All hail to the great Stone Loki for that intro that is all me. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You are the man. Thank you so much. Uh Again, I'm sorry for anyone who's maybe has realized that this microphone that I have is not the best. I'm working on that. I'm working to update that. It's terrible. I went back. Sometimes I've lately been listening back to myself as much as I can stand listening to me anyway, and it's I don't like it. It's old like me, and it shall be replaced as soon as possible. Replaced, maybe even replaced. I don't know, as soon as possible. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna just push on and act like it doesn't matter. But it sucks. It sounds terrible with this friggin' thing. Hey, but what you gotta do? Well, hello everyone. Thank you, my dear friends who have popped in tonight for a little, as the kids say, a chill stream, just a stream of unconsciousness. I would say, yes. We're just going to talk a little bit about all kind of the geek talk, but does not matter. If any buds pop in and want to hang out with me and come on in and talk, they can. If not, I'll just think of some crap to vamp about. I don't know what we'll do. We'll be on for a little while. Um, oh, Oh, Eastland. Well, thank you. I want to thank everyone who was here, of course. The wonderful, amazing, spectacular, and beautiful Raquel Briggs, of course. My co-pilot last night, my first officer last night for uh, an epic Star Trek stream of epic Star Trek proportions, and I had a wonderful and a magnificent time thanks to this beautiful lady who really, really knows her Trek way better than me. Obviously, she's amazing. She loves Trek, and she was fantastic. Everyone loves you, Raquel. You were amazing. And we will do it again very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here, and thanks to anyone who popped in and listened. We love Star Trek around here, and Star Trek will never be far from our thoughts or our topics, for that matter. And I had just a marvelous time. The great Douglas Oberg is here tonight, buddy. It is great to see you as always. Thank you, sir. My good old friend. New friend on YouTube, but I consider him an old friend now, Eastland Burkholder. It is fantastic to see you. Always. Thank you so much for that. Tim Hayes, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Anyone else out there who I don't know who is there or not, hey, whether you say something in the chat or not, I'm saying this to you. Thank you. Thank you to anyone popping in tonight. And as you can see on our little scroll there, next Monday night, I will be joined by my good friend Carlos. And if any of you admit to him that I called him a good friend, I'm going to call you a liar because he's an absolutely low life scumbag, and I hate his guts. Kidding. I love him. I just don't want him to know that I love him. So when I talk to him, I got to talk to him like crap because he deserves it. No, but well, you'd be surprised how we talk to each other. But anyway, my dear friend Carlos and I will be talking about one of my favorite subjects, something I've been meaning to talk about for a very long time. A subject of great importance to me. Yes, Alan Moore is crazy as a bag of rabbits, but I could come up with a better one than that. He's just crazy. Dude thinks he's a wizard. He's nuts. But he wrote some of the most brilliant comic books ever written. He's the greatest writer who ever wrote comics because of the volume of his work. It's just incredible. And anyway, I have been a fan of his since the early 80s when he first busted into the industry. RR. All right, my great friend RR is here also. Great to see you, sir. Alan Moore just burst on the scene in the early 80s, and I was working at a comic shop. Yes, I'm like Gary. I always mention that I worked at a comic shop. I even owned one later. And RR, you were quite correct. Alan Moore is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I could use some Cocoa Puffs right now, but I did have some Cocoa Pebbles earlier. But Cocoa Puffs are better. Anyway, I think, maybe you all disagree. But Alan Moore, the genius of his work in the 20th century, Watchmen being his most famous, but there are other things that are just as incredible. V for Vendetta. Yes, he said movies made of some of his works. But I have everything he did throughout his comic book career up until after and somewhere into the 2000s when he didn't do very much and I just got tired of some of it. Never thought I would because I was I was the ultimate Alan Moore collector of the time. I thought about writing a book about him, but it would have meant learning how to write without crayons and learning how to spell and all those things. No, seriously though, he's amazing. And I have yeah, Count Chocula. Didn't they change Count Chocula though, buddy? I don't know, but let's look into that. Alan Moore's written some brilliant things. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but at the time, if you were around in the comic book industry, and you know what it was like when he first hit, he had done some works before his Swamp Thing work, which set him amongst the gods, which launched his career working for DC. But Boo Berries it is. Love those too. I need that. And I like Frankenberry. I'm weird though. He was amazing. He had an extraordinary and astonishing body of work. And I have it all except for as the beautiful Purple Valkyries I had pointed out the other night. She did when I mentioned I had all of Alan Moore's work. She said even Lost Girls, and it was a good point. I'm like, and then Mark C mentioned Lost Girls last night also. No, I did dump that because that's some sick stuff. Won't get into why. And I didn't really like From Hell that much, but I collected every single thing he did all throughout his career, and it's some amazing stuff. And we're going to go through it all. Carlos, of course, knows his work as well, and we're going to go through all that. But even better, Swamp Thing. Well, Alan Moore's Swamp Thing is extraordinary, Raquel. I mean, oh my goodness, it was. When he took it over, I'd already dumped the Swamp Thing comic. It wasn't real. I mean, it was not too long after the first Wes Craven Swamp Thing film came out, and the comic was really nothing against Marty Pasco, who was writing the book at the time, or even Tom Yates, who was an excellent artist. It was getting kind of boring. It had dropped to bi-monthly. It was about to be canceled, and Alan Moore came along and changed how comic books were written, changed the structure of how comic books were written. The actual narrative, how comic books were written in the 80s, changed it. And he, of course, regretted some of the things he changed. As brilliant as his work was, he rightfully kind of lamented the fact that it changed so much that it turned things way too dark. He and Frank Miller ushered in the grim and the gritty. So Alan Moore has been something, before he became bitter and resentful and hateful of the medium and his previous work, he at some point started becoming something somewhat repentant for darkening things too much, if you will. But anyway, we'll get into all that, and Carlos knows Alan Moore work like I do, so it should be fun because Alan Moore's been in the news a lot. He has a new movie coming out. He's been saying he likes to go out there into the press and talk about how much he hates superheroes and comics and trashing people who just because they like to watch superhero films, and he's a snob and he thinks he's a wizard and he's a nut, and but I still love his older work. It's definitely something that needs examination. So we won't talk so much about the gentleman himself, who even in those days was pretty wacky, but now we will talk about his work. And we might talk about Count Chocula, Boo Berry, Frankenberry, Fruit Brute, Fruity Yummy, all these things that Tim Hayes is talking about. Hey, look, Tim Hayes, Tim Hayes, excuse me. I have no problem having a show where we talk about cereal one night. I was actually a guest on a friend's YouTube channel many years ago, back when they didn't have very many channels doing that. And he talked about we did a whole segment about cereal. And by the way, whoever mentioned it, Quisp. Oh, Doug, Quisp was mentioned. And Quisp was the topic of discussion. That should tell you something of what kind of show that was. I'm going to get that. I need to get that bastard on here one of these days. The wonderful and beautiful Purple Valkyrie is here. I'm not much for cereal, but I do like shredded wheat. Oh, there you go. There you go, RR. I'm not really supposed to eat cereal that much, but I did get me some Cocoa Pebbles tonight. I can't lie. And then Someone in the chat made me regret it when they mentioned that Alan Moore's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because now I want Cocoa Puffs instead, but I'm too full. They are better. Cocoa Puffs are better than Cocoa Pebbles. Fight me. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. We could be playing the game of Rassilon at this very moment. Brigadier. I'll put a geek picture up just because it's better than looking at me. My aunt's never worked with one of the big cereal companies. A box of what there, Doug? Man, two beautiful ladies here. That's overload for us, and it's probably a record. Raquel and Purple, and two fantastically beautiful, wonderful ladies. I got to tell you, ladies, there's nothing like a geek girl. A geek lady. That's my kryptonite right there. I mean, obviously, I'm a dude. I look at, beautiful ladies and like them all, like a beautiful lady on any superficial level. But when a beautiful lady likes comics or Star Trek or Star Wars or Doctor Who or all of the above or any one of them, I'm dead meat. I'm just, my God, it's the way. That is the way. You are amazing. It is my weakness. Eastland, let's see here. The Guardian has an article on Alan Moore. Yes. I like to learn things, and maybe everyone else here already knew about that. Oh yeah, well yeah, the Guardian. Yes, I saw that article. I believe the fantastic gents on Friday Night Tights the other night definitely covered that article. Moore's got a new TV show coming out. Dude's a loon. Moira Kitty, another beautiful lady's here. Moira, hugs and hearts to you. Man, we're amazing tonight there. Clobberin times. Let's see. A box of Jimmy Walker Dynamite. That was a cereal, dude. I'm old and I don't remember that. Whoa. No shite. Dude. My kryptonite is that tasty burger Hulk is eating. Oh yeah. Because Captain Harris didn't bring enough. Oh, Captain Harris didn't bring. Yeah, she didn't bring enough food at Loki. She ate all the food herself. Eris, I love Eris, by the way, the wonderful, extraordinary Eris of Chaos. But yes, she does that. She's mean that way, Captain Harris. Chris Persia, thank you for being here, my friend. It is fantastic to see you, the king of the wrenches. Yeah. So I was talking little Alan Moore there, but yeah, that'll be our big thing next Monday night. And then Tuesday night, sort of in line with what we were doing last night, Raquel and I were, of course, talking about Star Trek. Next Tuesday night, I'll be talking to comic book writer Dave Baker. He's the author of the new Star Trek Voyager miniseries comic book for IDW. And seems like a nice fellow. I do not know him personally, but we contacted. I was contacted on Facebook, and I like IDW Star Trek comics. By the way, that they've done many great comics, and very soon I had to put it off, but very soon I'm going to be doing a show about the history of Star Trek comics. Yeah. Oh, here. Well, cool, Eastland. Excellent. But he seemed like a nice bloke, and I like IDW doesn't so no the comic book industry is kind of dead, but anyway, I love Star Trek comics, always have. And I've always bought them. I mean, Star Trek comic books, kind of got me in there. And there's a long history of comic books. The Star Trek license has been all over the comic book industry. IDW has done many really, really good ones. Of late, they've done a lot of garbage too, because they've gotten to the bad reboot filth. But they still, right now, are the only place other than novels that you can get stories that take place within the real Star Trek universe. Right now, I've been currently collecting Star Trek Year 5 by IDW, chronicling the fifth year of the 5-year mission. It's pretty good. It's been really good so far. I'm a little behind. I got to catch up on the issues. They got woke with one issue, for the most part, they just tell Star Trek stories. There's a new Deep Space Nine comic. I've got a couple of it yet, but I've been getting those. And now there's a Voyager book coming out. And this gentleman wanted to have someone to talk about it with. And yes, you were fantastic last night, Raquel. I cannot praise you enough, my friend. I really enjoyed it. And you know your Trek. I mean, one of these days we'll play that Trek board game, my friend. Yes, Doug, there was a Star Trek Year 4 series IDW did a while back. Also, some of the great, for a while there, IDW was, I don't know if any of you know about John Byrne, who I have a lot of issues with throughout the course of history. I'm angry with some of the things he's done, but I've always loved his art. For some reason, as much as I've been a Byrne critic, as well as a fan sometimes, Byrne has really done a lot of good Star Trek for IDW. Many years ago, he really wasn't allowed to use the main crew. Thank you so much, Raquel. You make anyone look good. But Byrne did some really great Trek comics. Star Trek. He did a couple of the shorter story things he did with let's see, he did like some Romulan short stories, things like that. Then he did Star Trek Assignment Earth, a Gary Seven comic. He did a book called Star Trek Crew, which chronicles the first Constitution class Enterprise, first ships under Robert April, and it was mostly focused on the character of Number One, if you'll remember from, of course, The Cage. And that was a good comic. It was her with Robert April. Byrne kind of, no one's ever filled out those blanks, so they had her on that in that show. It's a miniseries. He did a great one called McCoy Frontier Doctor that took place in between the years between the original 5-year mission and the motion picture, which was a good comic. And then he started doing. I'm sure some of you are old enough to remember the old Star Trek photo novels. I have all those. They made a few of them where they took episodes and took still shots from episodes and put word balloons on them in these small, relatively thin novel-sized books, paperback books, and to tell the story of the episodes. I'm sure some of you remember the photo novels. You're too kind, Raquel. Aw. You want to make me blush there. Yeah, the photo novel's tough to get now. But a few years back, John Byrne started, instead of drawing, he did that. He did for about maybe, I don't know how many. He did maybe 10 or so or more. Could be more. Could be a little bit more. They're more of comic book size, and they're prestige format, and they're just like those photo novels, except what he did, instead of adapting episodes, he used pictures from the show, arranged them as a story, a whole new story, and with comic book word balloons. So they're photo novels with new stories, and he did his own original series stories, and they were pretty good. Let's see about. We got some Trek talking about last night. I like Spock's brain. You like Spock's brain, Eastland? Well, that's okay. I mean, I don't, but people can like it. I mean, I understand that. I got interrupted and dozed off while listening, but okay. Yeah, I forgot to mention Spock's brain, but many years ago when we did a worst episodes list, it was on mine, buddy. But it's okay to like it, but man, Spock's brain. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst one though, to be honest. Yeah, there you go. Photo novels, the VHS before there was VHS. I still have some of mine. I have a friend has all of his. You were awesome. Let's see. Yeah, the photo novels are really cool. But again, what Byrne is doing is, he's using Photoshop. He's not drawing these comics. These ones he did a few years back. I think he stopped. But he is, he's using photos to make his own comic book story. He did one that was a sequel to Where No Man Has Gone Before. And It was actually a good story. I mean, well, again, maybe you shouldn't mess around with Where No Man Has Gone Before with Gary Mitchell, but he did it. And in that story, it was sort of how I think he ripped off by Outer Limits here, but that's okay. Where Gary Mitchell returns, and of course he's powerful, but he returns where he's evolved beyond the petty, violent creature he was in that episode. And if anyone of you remember a brilliant Outer Limits episode with the amazing David McCallum called The Sixth Finger, I always thought that episode was an inspiration for Where No Man Has Gone Before. I love that episode of Outer Limits. I love Outer Limits was a great show. Good God, it was great. Demon with a Glass Hand by Harlan Ellison was extraordinary. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think what was it? IDW still is doing some pretty good Trek comics. At least you're getting to read stories that take place at the right in the right time. I guess. But I know it's not the same. But you can read Trek novels as well, I guess. Yeah, it's not the same. But what are you going to do? Comic school. There you go. I'd like to think, Raquel, that I hope I'm up to the task of talking about Trek in comics. For those who don't know, and I'm going to set it up. I'm going to have the pictures and all that stuff. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm getting text. Oh yeah, on the way. I'm going to get Paulie in here in a second here, folks. Let me send Paulie a link. Yo, Paulie, if you're out there, bro, give me a sec. It's on the way, bud. And we're going to have the pictures and everything. And because, Star Trek comics started while the show was still still on the air. One of the artists who worked on the Star Trek comics had never seen the show. Just like James Blish had never seen the show when he started novelizing the comic. The episodes. All right, where are you, Paul? Hang on, bro. I'm finding you. I got to find your email, buddy. There you are. Hiding from me there. Link is on the way, bro. Right now. There you go, buddy. Pop in at your leisure, my good friend. Let's see here. The Outer Limits remastered. Oh man, there's a remastered Blu-ray. I have the old DVDs, but the complete series. Man, I gotta get that. I have Outer Limits on DVD, so I guess I don't need it, but I want it on Blu-ray. I love that show. I'm gonna do an Outer Limits show one of these days, talking about Outer Limits. I'd have to rewatch them all again. Because my great buddy Paulie, he does an X-Files watch show now. And that's cool. That is cool. I love Twilight Zone, Raquel. I love Outer Limits. Great shows. I got a buddy of mine who, my buddy Flash, I need to tell him to come over. I mean, he's busy tonight, but who used to do the show he used to ride shotgun with me all the time on my BTR show. And this is gonna make you all want to punch him, because I'm gonna punch him. I'm just kidding. I love him, and he doesn't love him. He was such a good dude. We had so much fun together. But he actually he didn't like Twilight Zone very much, so I used to mess with him a lot. He liked Night Gallery better, which he's a crazy person. I love him, but Night Gallery had some good ones, and I love Rod Serling. The man was a genius. Who am I to judge him? He's just like this giant. What a great, brilliant storyteller. Rod Serling was a god in that pantheon. As a couple buddies of mine years ago came up with a Geek pantheon. Smart Steve! All right, man. We came up with a Geek pantheon. Rod Serling's up there. Of course, Gene Roddenberry, the great Patrick McGowan, Jack Kirby, of course, the great Jack Kirby. So many of them, but yeah. Hulk smash. Hey, man, Steve, look, Hulk's about to get smashed by Ben. It's about time Benji gets to smash him. He's going to drop that rock right on his head for what he did. Oh, yes, Star Trek had some Outer Limits collections. Indeed, Doug. Absolutely. Link is there, buddy. Just pop when you can, bro. Link is there. Let me go. Yeah. Yeah. You should. He had a lot of cheeseburgers. I guess I'll spoil this comic since none of you probably will ever read it, but the Hulk and the Thing were. This is one of my favorite Thing Hulk stories. It was called The Big Change from the late 80s, written by the great Jim Starlin and art by the great Bernie Wrightson. And it was just an insane book. Total fun, weird, crazy stuff. Thing Hulk battles are iconic, as many of you know. And there's a good reason why Ben J. Grimm, the Thing, is really pissed off at the Hulk right there. I don't know if any of you know why he's pissed off at the Hulk. But he has a good reason. It's clobbering time, he would say. I used to have sound bites on my old BTR. The only thing I miss about BTR is my soundboard, because I had the clobbering time sound bite on there, and I had music and all kind of crazy stuff. Actually, Smart Steve, you can. I know it's naughty, but there's a site that has this and all the Marvel graphic novels from the 80s and many other comic books. I forget the name of it now, sorry. But it has them all for free. Oops. RR, that's right. Thing Hulk battles are the best. They are iconic for comic books. But, yeah. I think they're even better than Superman, Captain Marvel fights. And I'm not going to say Shazam, because he's Captain Marvel. And I hate it when you say Captain Marvel and you have to explain who Captain Marvel is, because of the Brie Larson garbage movie and a bunch of other Marvel drivel. Captain Marvel is Billy Batson saying Shazam and becoming Captain Marvel. I'm a ridiculous comic book geek, and I'm sticking to it. Yep. Of course, when he's going to hurt him pretty bad when he drops the thing on him, but Hulk is impervious to it. Let me tell you something. The Thing has reason to do it in this case. He has just cause. So I love that comic. I just reread it again. Insert barf icon. Oh, shite. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom. Well, let's see here. Agreed. Hulk Thing, the best. Hulk smash, ugly rock monster. Meanwhile, and then of course, earlier in that book, by the way, anybody want to fight this guy? Banger Bit Crusher. God, Bernie Wrightson was amazing. Later, of the Hall of Justice. So, I don't know what bloody happened. I guess I should on live. Let me see here. I had to send out a message, everyone. Sorry. I'm now doing nothing in particular. Yeah, there we go. Oops. I messed up my damn link. Sorry, everyone, having a bit of a technical kerfluffle there. Let's see. All right. Let's see who's texting me. I better know who it is. Wrong link? He says it's the wrong link. Showed that it was right, buddy. Let me try it again. Bzz, bzz, bzz. All right. Let's see if this link works. Sending it again, pal. Looks the same. Let's see here. Testing the link now, bud. Again, it looks like it worked. I guess it just could be a crappy link. The first one may have been garbage for some reason. Bzz, 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 bzz. We'll try it again, man. See what happens. I don't know. What the bloody hell is happening here? I guess it happened. Oh, there we go. What up, boss?
Good evening.
Hey, everyone. The great Paulie from the great Latino Slant is here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Greetings.
How you be, man? How'd it go with the Dodgers?
They won 15-3.
Oh, that's a blowout, man. That's
Yeah.
since I'm a football guy formerly, I would say that's about like 55 to 7 or something like that
Yeah, right.
in football terms.
Yeah, they needed to win because they're actually down 2-0 now. They're down 2-1.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they're hanging in that series there. Smart Steve, that is well, as you can see, that is a creature called Banger McCrusher. Smart Steve. He's an alien or a monster on a weird world there. Yeah, so he's a bigot, ain't he? Oh my goodness.
Damn, he's huge.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
So what's
Loki.
going on?
Is Loki here?
Loki's there. See Loki. See RR.
Oh, Loki, what's up, man?
Raquel Briggs.
Yeah, we got a great crowd here, man. I mean,
She was great last night.
Thank you, man. She is wonderful. She was so amazing.
Yeah,
Loki.
loved her.
Oh, well, everyone. She was a hit, man. In fact, I really kind of thought about just she needed to handle it herself, and I could have just got out of there because nobody wanted to hear from me, including me. By the way, I just wanted to watch Raquel. She is just amazing. She was wonderful. You know, I wanted to have someone who wants to talk Trek like that and knows it like that for this, to talk about it, for the longest time, and and really has a passion for talking Trek, and she really does. An amazing knowledge.
So what the hell is going on with Trek right now, man?
It doesn't exist anymore. It's dead. In terms of new stuff.
Yeah, it was like, listen, was it the Gary's feed today, and then something the other day? Doesn't sound good. It sounds horrible.
Well, I mean, for me personally, everyone is entitled to view it any way they want, of course, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as a diehard Trek fan, it's done, man. It's over. It doesn't exist in any real form, not since 2005. Mm-hmm. I hate the Abrams filth. I hate anything bad reboot does. So for me, that's it. And that's the status anyway. And Loki, man, I know you're probably tired, bro, but I sent you a link just in case if you want to pop in and say hi. But I know you're a busy and tired man with a lot of shows ahead of you. I saw your stream tonight. It was fun watching you play that game. He was playing Doom tonight. But there's a link there if you're so inclined, my friend. You are wonderful, Raquel. You're amazing. And Star Trek. It's put it to you like this, man. I've heard Gary say this before, and I've said it many times. Sometimes you just have to accept that you're not going to get to go back home, or you're not going to you can't fall in love again. They're not going to bring something back that you love sometimes. Does that mean there's never going to be Trek? that takes place in the real Trek universe that's legit?
Hmm.
I don't know. I
Oh,
doubt it. I doubt it, man. I doubt it
I
with
think
Star Wars.
I think with these IPs, well, I don't know if this is even going to happen because my advice would be to put them all to rest for, for a few years and then revisit them. But, you know, the bozos in charge, they're not even going to do that. They're going to just keep thrashing it, you know.
Yeah, they are. They
You
are,
know,
man.
you know, yeah, yeah. So, but just getting ready for the show tomorrow. Just thought I'd come on and hang out with you for a little
I
while, say
appreciate it,
hello.
man. You got a big. Tell everyone about your big show tomorrow night, because I will be there with you, of course, man.
Well, we first of all we pulled in a heavy hitter, Purple Valkyrie, to produce the show. So she's coming in to produce the show with me.
All right, the wonderful Purple Valkyrie.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I needed help because Mexican Iron Man's still out of, he's still out of commission. Just trying to
Hmm.
get better. So,
Oh
um,
man,
first hour we have Andy Vargas, lead singer Santana, great dude, great
wow,
guy. Gonna get. I was just with him today. We're doing a martial arts training, and he's excited. He's gonna blast it out. But just gonna be talking about his story, man. How he came up and got that chance audition to sing for Carlos, and 20 years later.
amazing.
Um,
Dude, that's amazing, man.
yeah, and then and so what we'll do is we'll do tag team interviewing. So it'll be me, Jesse, Lorena Creo, and Loki tag team interviewing Andy.
Nice.
Gonna have some videos for you guys. Got some great performance videos of him, and then we're gonna really switch gears for the second hour and say goodbye to Andy and bring on Sparking News podcast
Really?
and and Kai,
Okay.
and then we're gonna break down this film from the '90s. So we're gonna do some nerding on a film called Blood In, Blood Out.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and what's
Nice.
funny is that that's one of Andy's favorite movies as well. So it's one of those movies that a lot of Latinos love because it's kind of like it's so corny and has so many great lines that you kind of like you kind of repeat or meme over the years. It's like so bad it's good.
Yeah.
So
Sure. Sure. You're gonna
yeah.
MST3K it a little bit.
Say that again.
You're gonna MST3K it a little bit.
MST. What does that
You
mean?
don't. You're not familiar with Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Oh, thank you. Yes, yes. What we'll do is I have two scenes ready to play. One early on from the movie, and then one of the pivotal, and then the ending scene. It's a 3-hour film, so we're just gonna be talking about it, showing scenes, and
Yeah.
um, it you know who's in it, dude? You know who's in it is
Who?
the great Thomas F. Wilson.
Oh man, Biff. No kidding.
No,
What
he
year was
plays,
this?
yeah. Oh God, it's 1993, 94. It's called Blood In, Blood
Oh,
Out.
okay.
It's with Benjamin Bratt. He was
Good
really
God.
young. I know,
Yeah.
dude, and it's just hysterical. And there's actually a lot of cameo. Well, they're not even cameos. There's a lot of supporting roles of future would-be names. Delroy Lindo, Ving Rhames, Billy Bob Thornton, are all in this movie, and they're like, you know, minor roles, but they do a good job. So yeah, it's action packed, man. Action packed. A lot of fun
Well, that's
tomorrow
gonna be
night.
great, man. Well,
Yeah, brother.
everyone, you've got to be there tomorrow for the Latino Slant Show. That will be. Is that not? I think it's 6 Central Time, so 4 your time.
Correct. 4
Yeah.
p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Um, and what I'm working on, and as you can tell because you're so closely involved, I'm working on there being a little bit of something for everybody. Uh, and so like even if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, you're gonna be like, wow, that's cool. Or then we connect the tissue with whether it's uh, uh, a pop culture movie that everyone has seen or something like that. So yeah, man.
That's great, bud.
Yeah,
Man, you
brother.
got some awesome stuff planned, buddy.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, you're part
Yeah.
of it.
I'm looking, dude. I'm learning how to wrench now. Of course, it gets. You got a wild chat last week, so I'm learning on the fly. I mean, I don't know if I could do like a much faster. That some. That's just amazing, though. I'm learning. I'm
Oh
screwing up
no, man.
sometimes, but I'm learning, man. It's fun.
No, you did. And well, I mean, and then how about what happened to us this past weekend?
Oh yeah, tell everyone about that, man. CBS, it's a bunch of all assheads.
Yeah. So
I'm a
if
jerk
um
offs.
if you guys go to the Latino Slant homepage, there'll be the CBS video, and it's a 5-minute condensed version of what happened to us. We basically did a trailer reaction to the new Stephen King's The Stand, which even Gary's excited about. I heard him today say,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. So CBS is coming out with The Stand in December, and I got the notice, and I was like, oh shit, let's go live, and I'll send out the link, see who wants to join. So Loki, Kai, Darth, you guys came on, and I played it once, I played it twice. The third time we played it, they took the channel, they shut the channel down, the stream. They shut the stream down.
Oh man, it's ridiculous, dude.
And yeah, and it is, yeah. Is it Raquel or Rachel
It's
Briggs?
Raquel.
Raquel. Yeah, Raquel. It is a great book. It's an amazing book, and that's why I was so excited when I got the notice because I did like the '90s version. It's just so '90s, and it was limited. And now they got this new cast. This new. Um, so. Yeah, it was pretty infuriating, man. And so we were just kind of in limbo, but Loki like knew what to do, and we were just waiting to get back on. And then I just I just started getting pissed. I kind of
I don't.
lost it for a little while.
I don't blame you, man. It's terrible. You weren't goofing on anything. You weren't trashing anything. In fact, the
Right.
reverse. You were talking about how you were excited to see it, and whatever happened. Why would they not want people to see their trailers and spread the word out there?
Yeah,
You weren't
so
hurting. You weren't doing anything negative.
yeah, Raquel, the new cast includes is it Alexander Skarsgård as as
Yes,
as
Tar- I think yes, Tarzan. He played Tarzan a few years ago. In fact, in that last Tarzan film.
yeah, and then Whoopi Goldberg as Mother Abigail. Um,
Yeah.
so we were putting up this we were putting up some of the still shots. I mean, and the trailer looks great. Well, let's talk about doing a live watch party or review afterwards. But
Yeah.
it's just really so stupid. But what's funny was that you know we end up what, getting more views than ever from people coming to watch it. What had happened? I get I jump in like 10 subscribers in like 2 hours just because of that. That's like a big deal for a little channel like mine.
Oh, sure, man.
And we all got a great content out of it. We're all part of something fun, you know.
No, absolutely. No, Douglas, I never did. I never did pick that up. I have not. Was it a good comic adaptation of the book? I don't.
Oh God,
He's
I
talking
don't.
about the comic. Yeah, remember the
You
comic?
did we get you? You don't know a comic book? Is that right?
Well, no, I
I
know
don't
of it. I know
I
of it,
don't
but I didn't
believe
buy
it.
it. Dude, there are a lot of comics. You think I
I
buy
know.
everything?
Yeah. You're the
No.
man.
I sold pretty much everything, but back then, but buy it?
Yeah.
No. But no, look, there's plenty of gaps in my knowledge. And what's worse, it's one thing to be a gap. It's one, but to have known it before and forget it, that's even worse. Old man memory's bad for you. I don't like it.
Yeah, and Smart Steve, I agree. They shot themselves in the foot. Absolutely.
There you got a new
Chris
sub right
Persia.
there. A new sub right
Wow.
there.
Oh yeah. Well, you're gonna love our stuff. We Clobberin Times knows we cover a lot of ground. Exactly. Yeah, this has got a good chat going on here, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm so happy to see you all in here in the chat
Yeah.
tonight. By the way, thank you all so much. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've only been, even though I was for 11 years on BTR. I've only been here since about April, and I made so quickly made so many fantastic friends. My son, I've told you before, I should listen to my son a couple of years ago when he tried to get me to move here. But you were one of the first, man. I think you were there for one of my first shows and stuff, and I made so many friends. Not with other channels that are just getting started like me and stuff, and just Fandom Menace has such great people. It's really amazing, man. I'm glad I met you,
Yeah.
bro. I'm not getting all
Hey,
sentimental on you here, but
no, it's all good, dude. Listen, chat. Speaking of subs, Clobber Times is at 149. Dude, let's get him to 150 right now. Anyone who's
oh,
not subbed right now, sub to this damn channel, please. We love Mike. We love Clobber
thanks, buddy.
Times. Let's get to 150.
Oh, we're gonna
It's Clobber Time.
that means something to a comic book geek because there was a time when any landmark, issue 100, issue 150,
Yeah,
issue
yeah.
200. God, I miss when comics were fun.
Well, I remember getting issue 150 of the X-Men. I told you I got in
Yeah,
around 138.
double-sized issue had Magneto on the
Yep,
cover, if I remember right.
that's
Yep,
great, dude.
Dave
Nah, man,
Cockrum
you
cover.
deserve it. You deserve it.
Oh, well,
It's
thanks, buddy. Thanks,
we're
bud.
all bring our little wave, kind of like you said. We came in around April, May. Pretty recent. We're all coming up together. It's pretty cool, and
Really is, man. It really
you know,
is.
yeah, brother. So I think that this goes. Yeah.
We-
So what are we
and,
talking about, bro? Just
But
is it open? Are
we're
we open or
it's just
what?
open. This is something I used to do all the time. I would just do whenever just feel like just seeing where the wind blows. Just talking any kind of geek stuff, man. That's why I'm just
Yeah.
talking about stuff coming up. That's why earlier I was talking about the nut job Alan Moore that we'll be doing a show about Monday night with Carlos. You've met Carlos before.
Yeah, what's this whole thing? Is he renouncing all his work, or is this
He's done
like
that.
has he found God?
No, quite the opposite. Well, he thinks he is God, actually.
Oh
He's done
God.
that for a while. Oh, yeah, Iron Man 150. Doug, dude,
Oh,
that was a great one. Dr. Doom and Iron Man teaming up. Great by Bob Layton cover when they both went back in time to Camelot. God, I love that issue.
wow.
Was that not great or what? Why do I remember that? It's insane. Talk about the early 80s or the mid 80s, something like that. Watch Doug tell me, no, you got that wrong. It was a different issue. No, I think it was 150, man. Could have been an annual. Anyway, look, he's been denouncing it for many years, and a lot of people like to say it's because DC screwed him over. It's partly that, but remember back when they made the Snyder, when Zack Snyder made Watchmen, the film that was released in 2009. Well, before that, Moore was doing this. Moore took his name off of it. He let his co-creator and artist Dave Gibbons have all of his money for it. He didn't want anything to do with it. Took his name off of it. And Gibbons got all the money for it. And then any reprint things that were coming out after that, like Miracle Man and other things, had his name taken from those. He didn't want it on there. So it's not like he's after money.
I just sent you a pic. I just sent you a photo. So
on Twitter.
To your phone.
Oh, okay.
So I got something cool to talk about there.
Okay, we'll go for it. This is this the missus?
This is her. If we want to put it up,
Mrs. Slam. It's on my phone. I would have to figure out how. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have a screen share on my thing. I well, back
You don't?
to to more. I mean,
If it were on
I'm
Twitter,
enjo
I could do it. Go ahead.
I'm enjoying Justice so much, so it kind
Oh,
of
really?
sucks that
Well, he didn't
yeah,
write it.
no, but the artwork, right? Didn't you say it was his cover?
No, Alex Ross. It's
Oh,
different.
again, getting them. See, that's where the
And that's
normie in me
cool.
comes out.
That's cool. So
Gotcha,
you liking it?
gotcha.
So are you liking it so far? I don't know if you read any more of it.
I love it. Yeah,
But
I need to get back into it. Oh, Eric K's here.
Eric
Um,
K. Ta-da! All right, man. Good to see you, sir. So you are enjoying it then. Good. I'm glad. I was wondering if you'd read any of it or not, or what the deal was on that.
yeah, yeah. It's just I have been slowing up on it, and it's just
Yeah, that's
um,
good. Look, it was over time. You know how long it took that book to come out? A
right,
year and a half or
right,
more.
right,
So even though you have it all compiled in one story, it took me forever to get the. In fact, by the time later issues came out, I had to go back to
right,
that's yeah.
right.
So you're
No,
good. You get plenty of time.
I thought the photo would be good insight for the viewers, and this might be something that I might stream on how Hollywood is getting back to work and that productions are happening, whether they're our favorite shows or not, you know, people are getting back to work, and it's really important that the industry gets back to work and people will, oh yeah, Wolverine. I'm like, oh, Wolverine.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
train of thought there, but go ahead, go for it. Didn't mean to
Yeah.
break your train of thought.
Hey,
Hey
what's
man,
happening?
hey man, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful Polly.
Ha!
Oh man, what's up, bro? Look at that,
Yeah, what's going on?
Mister. Yo, yo, Polly. Yo, hey, yo, you look like Wolverine all of a sudden, man. Hey, yo, Snick.
I used to have hair like that, man. It's thinned out so much.
Have you ever read this one?
I had some I had they look familiar, so especially the first two on top.
Well, in the
I,
early '80s, in the early '80s, he was only an X-Men, as you know. But then Chris Claremont and Frank Miller got together and did this mini series. The
uh-huh.
first time he was ever on his own. And again, I hate to be. You get in trouble every time. I get made fun of every time I say it. But what the hell? The shop I was running at the time, we sold the hell out of this sucker. We made a T-shirt for the shop out of that issue #1. It was such a great cover. And Wolverine, man, we were really excited. Now I don't really care that much for the character as much. I think he was way oversaturated, way overdone. That time, him getting his own book. And this was a great book, man.
Yeah.
Frank Miller was all the rage at that time. His art. This is a classic. If you ever get a chance to find the trade paperback of it, this one it has that legendary line in it, man. The legendary Wolverine line when he says, It opens in the first issue. I'm the best at what I do. What I do is not very nice.
That's a great fucking line. Oh my God, that's badass.
Let's
They
see.
don't write like that anymore, no? I mean,
Yeah, I think Miller gave that line to Claremont.
uh,
I don't know.
unreal,
I got a little title.
unreal.
Yeah, that was the first Wolverine miniseries. Let's see.
Okay.
They did, that movie, The Wolverine, does borrow heavily from this comic.
Sorry. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. The
From this one, yeah.
when they went to when he's with Japan in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And then,
recognize a lot of the stories.
oh, yeah, Silver Samurai and all that stuff. Oh, well, you're too kind. Raquel, you're too kind. You're too kind.
Oh, what is she
Just,
saying?
just so flatterer. You flatterer, you. You're amazing. Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate that. Comic school. Boy, if I'm teaching, we know we're in trouble. You're gonna get erasers thrown at me from all places. What are you doing, brother?
Oh, well, I was trying to see if I was trying to see what I had here.
RR, you remember those? Great ones, man. This was a great book. I mean, again, I thought Wolverine was overdone. It wasn't until a few years later he got his own series, but he was great in X-Men. Of course, they let the genie out of the bottle with that one we were showing last week, the Wolverine Alone issue, which was badass, man.
What'd you think of the Excalibur series?
I like some of them. I love the Alan Davis stuff. I thought the early ones were pretty good. You remember that one? I always like Captain Britain. He was in
Yeah, I
that book.
remember.
Well, Captain Britain. We'll be talking about in our Works of Alan Moore show next week because Alan Moore wrote a great bunch of Captain Britain. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That looks familiar. I probably never bought that one, but I've seen it before. There you go. Greg Rucka wrote it. Well, that explains that. But yeah, Greg Rucka, Greg Cucka, as he's called now, became claimed to fame writing for Wonder Woman. I didn't know he did a lot of Marvel stuff, but
yeah, early I got.
Oh man, we get to see some comics here. That's always cool. We should get 24 on. Huh.
Oh, where's my number one?
What you looking for?
Number
Oh,
two?
Excalibur. That's a later series. Yeah, that's one of the more recent ones from in this century. Yeah,
it's like 10 years old?
Oh yeah, about that. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they did bring it back. I like the Peter David run back in the 90s. I thought it was pretty good. He was a really good writer. Like the Silver Samurai, but I think the 3-story tall Silver Samurai in the movie was why was he so big in the damn movie? I don't know.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Comics are so beautiful. Yes, they are.
Raquel, that comic book covers, especially from the 60s and 70s. I know I love a lot of stuff, but are my happy place. I mean, I gotta admit it. I mean, I just love them.
Some more LaRocca.
Especially these. I already showed these Alex Ross covers, which are so beautiful. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take it off so you can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Rucka was the writer. LaRocca was okay. You check out with Austin Works. Okay, there you go. So you were buying X-Men into the not too long ago.
Well, I got back into it because I was still in Texas, so I would go to a comic book store that was pretty close by with my buddy Courtney, who's kind of like a Makini, it's kind of like a drawer. So yeah, I got back into X-Men, Astonishing X-Men, Uncanny, Extreme.
Yeah, nice.
And then X-Files, couple, X-Men Unlimited, Uncanny, but I got Whedon, Astonishing.
Yeah, he did. I liked his Astonishing run early on. But Joss Whedon's in a lot of things. He's an a-hole, but his early Astonishing X-Men was pretty decent. I never bought this, but I like Rogue. Who doesn't like Rogue,
Number one.
There you go.
In this series. One.
Yep. That was actually, if not her first time she had her own series.
No.
Or maybe her second. No, it might have been the first time she had a series. On her own, I mean.
Nice cover.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I don't like modern stuff that much, but that's a nice cover. I love the way the old covers look.
Yeah, this is like, yeah. It's not bad, though.
What, you got a big box full of...
It's like a box I just pulled out. I like the Ghoulies. Yeah.
Nice. Another good cover.
Yeah.
That's some good... that's what we did a show about comic book covers a couple weeks ago because, hey, the cover's the hook, man.
That's a nice cover.
There you go. Now, see, I love John Cassidy. He's a great artist, and that was, at the time, the Astonishing X-Men run by Whedon was pretty good.
Yeah, when he cared.
Yeah, he did love his X-Men. Well, you do know he wrote the first X-Men film, but the script got screwed around with so much he took his name off of it.
Yeah. That's all I got in this little batch.
Nice.
This is cool. It's an older. That's pretty cool.
Yep, Alan. Well, and Alan Davis. I can't remember who did the cover on that, but Alan Davis did the inside of that one. Of course, Claremont. I love Alan Davis. So I don't know what it was. Mark Farmer always inked Alan Davis. It was something. But yeah, he was great on. He was the guy who did Excalibur in the early days. Nice.
It's a great first page right there. Oh, I'm gonna wash my fingers.
Well, Raquel, if I can help you with any of that, anything you want to know about the Trek comics, like I say, IDW has done a lot of really good ones of late, and there are tons. I just got a couple of the big. What I used to love was the Star Trek newspaper comic strips of the 70s. I have a couple of big volumes with those in it. Those are really good. Those are really good. And speaking of Justice, man, Alex Ross, he's a jagoff, but he's a great artist for a jagoff. He's man, it's a strange. A lot of people don't like Alex Ross because they think it's he uses models to paint his characters. But what the hell?
Yeah, man.
I like it.
What the hell?
Bloody hell. Yep, that's Justice. Smart Steve, a couple months back, a buddy of mine, and we did a whole show talking about that comic, Alex Ross's Justice, because I don't think it ever got as much attention as it should have.
Yeah, that's where I first connected with you. I said, I'll get it.
That's where Polly first popped up. I think we talked. It was one of the first times you'd been in the chat there. And we went through the whole story. We didn't spoiler everything. We talked a lot about the story. We didn't end the spoiler the ending of anything like that. In my opinion, if you said to me as a geek, all right, look, you're about to die, but before you do, we're going to give you the ultimate greatest superhero movie with your favorite characters of all time. You get to choose how it's made and what it looks like in the story and all that stuff. You get to choose that movie. And then you're dead, man, but that's okay. You get to live your dream as a geek. And they're going to kill me anyway, right? But they're giving me this one thing. This is what I want adapted word for word and scene for scene. It would make the greatest superhero movie of all time. And I want it accurate. I want it to look just like all of it. I want it to have that amazing story. It'll be 8 hours long, but I want it to have that story. Jim Kruger and Alex Ross did the story. If no one had told me that, and I just read it cold back when it came out in 2007, and then reread it again recently, I would have thought Alan Moore wrote it. It's that amazing, and what a brilliant story this is, in my opinion. I mean, Polly might think differently. I don't know if Polly will like it as much or not, but I love it.
Switch to take it off for a second.
Find it. There we go.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
150 subscribers.
Oh, man. Thanks, buddy.
There you go, right there.
Oh, thanks. I should have. Well, I'll find some way to put up a cover or something.
Badass, bro.
Let's see.
Yay.
Let's see. You said, let's see. How about a comic book that you know of? Because you said you remember you had X-Men number 150, right?
A comic book that I know of right now?
No, I'm just saying I'm gonna put up a 150 issue. Just for you.
Yeah.
And that's one now, if I remember right, it's a Dave Cockrum cover with Magneto and Cyclops fighting on it. Let me dig it up. I have it somewhere probably. No, I have to download. There you go. Well, when you don't have it, you can Google it, right? I thought I had that damn thing. There you go. Sorry, everyone. Vamp.
Everyone's congratulating you, brother.
Thank you so much, everyone. This is a smaller load here, but so to speak. But download and
water up.
Yeah, here we go. All right, there we go. I'm going to, but to celebrate 150 because you've all been so nice. Watch, it'll go back down to 149 in a second.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. Uh,
Right?
I kid, sir. Let's get the big one. There we go. Look at Polly. Isn't he the man? You did that, man. I appreciate it. You got me that sub.
Yeah,
Man.
well, you know.
Can 151 be that far behind? Let's
Uh,
see.
like the way you think. No.
Thank you, everyone, whoever did that. Um, because I like to, and anyone, by the way, if you're on a channel, if you have a channel, and I have not subbed to you yet, I will. If you just tell me what it is, you can always tell me in the chat. Or if any of you have channels, but you're looking for subscribers too. And TV, where? Oh, there you are. Okay, there we go. And so, celebrate 150.
Yeah.
We will have X-Men number 150
Mm.
special. See what they used to do that? One special, 150th issue. Anything that's a landmark, I guess they would just do it. Yeah, I was still buying the comic at that point, and I'm old. I dropped it not too long after this, I think.
Is she holding Kitty?
Yes,
No.
in one of her many costumes. What's she
Yeah.
calling Sprite?
She was becoming Sprite, or maybe she was Sprite.
I think she was calling herself Sprite at that point. Was she not?
She started calling herself something else, and I never liked it. Thought it was awful.
What was it? I'm trying to remember now. Everyone just called her Kitty Pride. It's funny. Thanks, everyone. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Doug. Eric, thank you, man. Like I always, Dave Cockrum's one of my favorite artists. He was, on the book before Byrne did this was I think this was Cockrum and Rubenstein or something like that. Joe Rubenstein, good inker. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
God, what did she call herself after Sprite? Now you got me. I can't remember. But Shadow Cat. There you go, buddy.
Shadow Cat. I'm like,
Doug for the
yeah.
win, buddy.
Oh,
I know I can
nice,
count on
Doug.
you. Look, this is a wealth of geek information right here. If I were searching for something I needed, for example,
Shadow
trying
Cat.
to remember something about Star Trek, boom, Raquel would have done it like that. A comic one that I can't remember, boom, Doug got it.
But Doug's in our X Files watch party every Thursday night, and
Oh yeah,
he's becoming that same go-to guy.
nice.
I know, Doug. I was doing some research on the next episode, and just the next episodes were like, um, damn, these aren't really the best episodes coming up, you know. And
Really,
it's yeah, they kind of missed the mark, but it's like we got to trudge through them. There's always some good little specks here and there, but Shadows, the episode we're gonna watch tomorrow night is called Shadows. We're still in season 1, episode 6. It's all right. It's all right.
yeah.
They wrote it to please the network heads who wanted something like a Poltergeist, which the X Files hated.
But that's kind of a lot of shows. Their first seasons can be a little clunky. Not all,
Yeah,
but that is true of a lot of shows in their initial or in their first season.
yeah.
That's kind of been you know kind of commonplace really with new shows. They take a while to find their footing. How many people have ever told you, hey, so and so's that's a really good show, but give it time because it takes a while to get it going. Which is true of some shows. Actually, Star Trek original series, that's not really true of it. It was great from the beginning, even though it developed. But a lot of times they start these shows and they're trying to, I don't know, find their footing, or they're trying to do a lot of setup because they got arcs coming up and different things like that. Which that could be a factor as well, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that could be the case with I don't know because I'm not an expert on X Files, but when you have a series like that, I think that could be it, man.
Yeah, and you could tell like it's until mid to late season of season 1 that there's some like amazing episodes, and there's just like the first, the first 6 of the X Files. Like, Tooms, Squeeze and Tooms are really excellent, but there's an episode called Beyond the Sea, which really takes Scully to a different level. So there's some good stuff coming up ahead, just not tomorrow night. But
I got you, man. I got you, man. A lot of shit yeah, a lot of shows are like that. They take time, but you know what though? If you hadn't watched that one in a while, you might, you might still you'll have a good time with everyone talking about it and stuff like that. So,
yeah, or also
you know,
too, like for people who haven't seen there's a couple of people that have never seen the X-Files, so they're seeing these for the first time. But
and that
I'm
could make a
gonna
difference.
I'm gonna split. I'm gonna go chat with Wes and Casino, and then call it a night.
Okay,
Um,
we'll give those fellers my regards, and they're great. Wes Moody and Culture Casino, right?
yeah,
Great, love those guys. I'll probably jump in there and see them later as well if they're still on. So
yeah.
thanks for
No, man. Of course. Thank
thanks,
you,
man.
bro.
Appreciate it. I have one more 150 to celebrate while we're here. Let's
Let's
see.
see. Oh, wow.
FF 151 by the one of my favorite artists, the great Gil Kane. Yeah, this pisses me off because I hate Quicksilver, and it's the wedding of Quicksilver and Crystal, who used to be Johnny's girlfriend. And yes, Ultron is moonlighting, taking some time off from fighting the Avengers, sort of, to mess around with the FF because he was cheating on the Avengers. So, but dude, I
I
can't
love
thank you
the
enough for popping in. Huh?
I love the Mr. Fantastic's was it overhand right that he's trying to connect?
Yeah, he's gonna plump his stretchy hand on unless he's reaching
Uh,
for something else. He's not gonna make much of a dent on what's his face Ultron, is he?
yeah, but still, I mean, because it's like going right in the middle of the cover. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at all those superheroes in the background of the wedding. They're like, we'll just sit here and watch him.
Right.
it
Oh my God.
was like
That's gonna be Crystal.
when the Wasp and Yellow Jacket got married in Avengers comic back in the '60s, and was it the Circus of Crime attacked them, the Serpent Squad, and they said, "Go home, superheroes. We don't need your help." And they do dumb shit in comics. All right, brother.
All
Well,
right.
man, look, dude, thank you so much for hanging with me, man. And I will see you tomorrow night at the Slant. We'll be there, buddy. Everyone, the great Polly, the old
Have
Polly.
have a good night, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care,
You're the
everybody.
man.
Peace.
Let's see. We're talking. Let's see here. Eric K., I'm glad you said that about Enterprise. Of course, last night, the wonderful Raquel and I were talking about all the Trek series, and we both love Enterprise. And I'm one of you'll hear a lot of people say things like, well, at least Enterprise got better in that fourth season. I love the first three seasons, especially the first two. I like the standalone stories better. I've always appreciated that kind of storytelling on television more than story arcs and things like that. I'm not knocking story arcs, and there are many fine shows, excuse me, that have that sort of thing. But Eric, I got to tell you, I love the first two seasons of Enterprise. I mean, maybe there was some clunkers in there, of course, like any show. I thought they were really good, and I like some of the. They had a lot of multi-parters in the fourth season, which were fine episodes, good stories. But I got to tell you, I kind of did better when they had the closed stories. Some of those early on stories where it was very, very clunky in the sense that they didn't know what they were doing. They just kind of threw themselves out there in space at almost warp 5. They didn't really always go warp 5 all the time, but they were alone. They had no backup. They were, they had a lot going against them, but and that's something. You know what? Another great point, Eric. The problem is it takes some skill to write one episode rather than a long story. Back when they were making TV shows with 20, 22, 23, whatever episodes per season, most of the time that meant 22 something stories. And along the way, when now they make far fewer episodes of a TV series, mind you, but it just seems to me like they get together when they plan what they're going to do for a season. When they all get together and they say, "How about this running story arc?" That way, we can stretch one story over 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes. And we can have a sort of a break off standalone one here and there, but that way we don't have to write as much and we can pad things and stretch things out. I really believe that's what they do. I could be wrong because I'm not in those meetings. How do I know? But, I really believe that's what they do. That last episode of Enterprise was atrocious, buddy. And the cast hated it. It's called These Are the Voyages. What they did, the trip was disgusting. The last 5 minutes were kind of nice when they showed the beginning of the Federation. Doug, I kind of liked that part, and when you got to see the ships fly off with the monologues by the captains. But man, look, the cast hated it. Everybody hated it. You know what though? Here's the thing about that. It was terrible. Fans of the show, the cast, a lot of them hated that ending in that episode. These are the Voyages. Even Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis agreed that it was wrong and they probably shouldn't have done it. Rick Berman is you can say what you want about him, and he can be criticized like anyone else. And I've criticized him, many have. I'm going to give him some credit here. Rick Berman, at least later, like a man, came out and said, "I understand. Maybe it wasn't a good idea. I understand everyone's complaint, and everyone's criticism." And he apologized. He said maybe it wasn't a good idea to do that. He didn't come out like a snide, smarmy Jar Jar Abrams, Alex Klutchman type, and just insult fans and say, "Well, screw you if you don't like it." I thought that was big of him to do that. I wish Rick Berman would, they would give Star Trek back to him for all the way he got pounded on by some people. He was good at doing Star Trek. Gave us a lot of great Trek. You don't have to agree with him on everything. I sure don't. But oh well, I always loved Jolene Blaylock. I'm with you there, buddy. And so I admire that about Rick Berman. And he seemed like a good enough guy. So yeah, I don't know him, but I thought that was good. I remember not too long after that episode aired, that last one, These Are the Voyages, Jolene Blaylock went on George Norrie's show, Coast to Coast, the old Art Bell show. I'm sure I don't know if any of you ever listened to Coast to Coast. She went on in an interview with that, and she really hated that episode. I saw Connor Trenier at DragonCon one year in the panel. He was asked about it. He didn't like it either. And he said that even, he said nobody likes it. Bakula hated it too, from what I hear. I agree with that, Eastland Burkholder. I remember, I don't know if any of you watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. For the time, I thought it was a really good show. They had season-long story arcs, but they had the sense to have a lot of standalone stories building up to that, where you could watch one episode, even though once in a while they had a story. It was an arc or a thread that ran through a season. I like that kind of approach, that at least if you're going to have an arc, you can still have standalone stories within that arc. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Jerry. I love Jerry Ryan, 7 of 9 as well, man. No question about it. She was wonderful. Yep, Jolene didn't like that. It was just a bunch of disappointment all the way around. Absolutely, Raquel. And, well, talking of 7 of 9 again, next week, this writer that I'm going to be having on, Dave Baker, who is writing the new IDW Star Trek comic book miniseries, Star Trek Voyager. It's called Seven's Reckoning, and it takes place, obviously, somewhere early on in Seven's life on Voyager. I'm going to be reading the first issue tomorrow. It's not out yet, but I'm going to get a copy of. He's going to send me a copy of he sent me a copy of the first issue. I will read it tomorrow and see how it is. But it's very nice of him to do that. He's going to come on and talk about it. And it is a 7 story, again, called Seven's Reckoning. So we will see. Seemed like a good chap. But yeah, and you know what? When I was a kid in the Bronze Age, Steve, I don't know when your childhood was as a comic books reader, but the old riding my bike to the corner 7-Eleven, using grass cutting money to get to get a to get my comics and save just enough for a candy bar and a Slurpee with a superhero cup. Those were the days, my spinner rack days, and in the Bronze Age in the 70s. Um, they marketed comic books differently, where they didn't have a lot of long sagas. They started doing a little bit in Avengers and a couple of other books, but that you never knew where. You didn't have a comic book shop and a folder where you could hold your comics as a subscription service. You had to take your chance. And if you were buying FF at the time, or Superman, or whatever the series was, was it going to be on that rack at your 7-Eleven? And so they kind of wrote more closed stories for that. Well, obviously TV's different. And yet storytelling in the early ages of TV was still episodic. You're too kind, dear. You are wonderful, Raquel. I can't wait to talk Trek with you again. We're going to talk about Enterprise. Excuse me, Enterprise soon. Absolutely. Yes, I'm what you call when it comes to comic books. I'm a Bronze Age baby. The Bronze Age, of course, Jack Kirby started it when he left Marvel for DC in 19. It runs from 1970 to 1986, and of course, in the 70s, that was my formative years as a comic book fanatic. And so we call ourselves Bronze Age babies. I love the Silver Age. Silver Age had a lot of the best art, but I love a Bronze Age comic book cover. There's a very distinct look to those as well. And so, although I love the Silver Age, I love Golden Age comics too. I got a buddy of mine who's an expert on Golden Age comics. I do know my Golden Age, but not as much as I know my Silver and Bronze, and a little bit of Copper. But I love the Bronze Age. I really do. And I guess I just like older TV because I like to watch. I like to sit down and watch a closed story. I don't mind an arc sometimes. But you can sit down when you have a limited amount of time and you could pop on an original series original series episode, or a TNG, or a DS9, a Voyager, or an Enterprise in one episode, usually, and you can sit there and enjoy it for 40 some odd minutes. In the case of the original series, 50 minutes, because that's how they rolled back then. And get a lot out of it and enjoy it, even if you watched it 50,000 times, like I have. It's in the case of the original series. And I've watched Enterprise, the Trek I've watched the most, and I'd be interested in knowing Raquel's take on this. And any of you, is there one you've watched the most? And if so, any of you who watched Trek, which one did you watch the most? Have you seen you've seen them all, I'm sure, but did you see it is there one you've seen 50 bazillion times more than you saw the others? Just curious. But hey, Chris Purser, you heading out, man? Hey, Chris Purser, King of the Wrenches, I want to thank you so much. If that I didn't see if he announced that he was heading out or not. Oh, there we go. Hey, Chris, buddy, I'm always thrilled to see you when I'm bumping to you at the chats, and I am as honored as I can be to have you pop in here, man. I appreciate it. You are the master of the wrenches, and I will see you probably. I'm sure I'll see you somewhere out there on the funway, as the Fireside Theater used to say. As they say in Fireside Theater, see you on the funway, yippee one on. And if you don't know who Fireside Theater is, you're either not old or you're not weird. I don't know. I bet someone here knows who Fireside Theater is, though. Let's see. Later, Chris. So thank you as always, buddy. It has been a pleasure. TOS, I've seen too many times to count. Yeah, and TNG. Okay, you've seen those the most, Eric. I hear you, bud. TOS, I've seen the most, but you know what? Second most, excuse me, second most, I have probably seen Enterprise. The second most. I've binged it many times, and I throw on episodes. I might get close to that someday. someday with DS9, perhaps even Next Generation in TNG, as they say. TNG, as we say in the biz. But I don't know. It may always be just I don't know. It may always be Trek. The original series will never even be surpassed. I love it the most, and I watch it the most. Enterprise probably the second, but I do watch a lot of DS9 episodes over and over again. So, amongst other shows, I got a lot of other shows I love. One day I'm going to be doing a show. Let's see here. One night I'm going to be doing a show. I'm going to let you guys in on some inside what is inside baseball here, or a little inside information about me. Some of you may not know this, and this is kind of, I guess this will be sort of a test. Did none of you know this? But I actually have a television show of my own. No, I don't mean a show made about me or by me. There's actually been a television show that was made that only I know of, that only I watched, that only I love. In a sense, I own it because nobody else knows about it. Some few people have heard about it. And I'm going to do a show about that one day. For me, okay, well, really? Maybe because I watch it all year. It's okay, it's the original series movies. Okay, well, that's a good one. Well, we love those. I love the movies. Started watching Enterprise again. Funny thing, I really did not watch much DS9 until the show ended. Same here. It took me 2016 to watch them all, Eric. I did not give it the chance I should have until it was. Eric, same story, buddy. And then there could be a lot of people like that. Let's see here. They probably could have delayed DS9 and Voyager to the early 2000s and Enterprise for the 20 teens instead of having them running almost concurrently, avoid Trek fatigue. I don't know, Smart Steve. I mean, yeah, I suppose they could do it. They could have, but I think I don't know. I guess at the time, if I had been into those shows when they were on, I might not have minded so much. Because if you remember, Smart Steve, I'm sure you do, science fiction television wasn't what it's like right now. Now you got millions of different shows out there. It's not a big deal for someone to make a science fiction show. At that time, especially in the 70s and 80s, but even in the 90s, they were rare and they didn't stay on long. So I don't know. Maybe some people got the fatigue on that. I don't know. I didn't really. But yes, there was a TV show made just for me. I'm convinced now. I'm not a religious man, but I do believe that the gods smiled. They gave me a show that I guess no one else likes. Unfortunately, it only lasted 7 episodes. It only ran in the year 1988, a year that I opened up my own comic book shop called Mega City Comics because I love Judge Dredd, for you Judge Dredd fans out there. But I have a show, and again, only I love it. Now, I'm being a little silly, and I'm engaging in a bit of hyperbole because obviously there are probably other people. I know of people who like it. Put it to you like this: it's never going to be on DVD. I wore out my videotapes of it when I recorded it in 1988, and it aired only on the Sci-Fi Channel. Remember when in the early days when the Sci-Fi Channel was good, when it first popped in the early 90s, and they showed the series collection when they would show short-lived science fiction shows, but they butchered it on there. I had my complete copies, and I've worn my VHS ones out so much we had to transfer them to DVD, and they started wearing out. And remember when cons had people selling bootlegs of everything? I had to buy a bootleg. Mando Mark, good to see you, brother. So this show, it exists. I think. I've never been to Vegas, but did you ever make it? No, you know what, Doug? I always wanted to go the Star Trek experience and never got a chance. I haven't been to Vegas since 2001. So no, unfortunately not. I would love to though. Mando Mark's here. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for popping in, man. This show that I'm talking about, again, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but I guess I'll go ahead and mention it. Some of you may have heard of it. A few years ago, I actually met the star of this show. Raquel Briggs, thank you for being here so much, my friend. You were beautiful and wonderful, and again, had a wonderful time with you last night, and hope we can talk again soon. And I'll just go ahead and blurt the name of the show out there in case Raquel's still there. Maybe she's heard of it. I don't know. Um, it was from 1988, and it is called Isaac Asimov's Probe, starring Parker Stevenson. And I wonder if anyone of you, and if you've ever seen it. That show was my happy place. I adore it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And it only lasted 7 damn episodes. So I'm convinced it was made just for me. I mean, other people I have showed the show have liked it, of course, but no one loves it more than me. Oh, what's that, Raquel? You know it? Do we have a winner here? Someone actually knows my show that I personally own and no one else is ever allowed to love but me? Just kidding about that. It's simple, but brilliant. And I love it. And I could be in the worst mood ever and throw episodes of Probe on. I'm going to do a show. Oh, you haven't seen it. In 1988, basically a science detective show. You think, and when I'm walking out the door to go to work and seeing the ads for it, I see Parker Stevenson. I'm thinking Hardy Boys. The little pinup guy, Hardy Boys. Forget that. I just recorded the pilot for the hell of it. This show, by the way, Michael Piller of Star Trek The Next Generation worked on this show. It is this guy, if it were made today, it would be a superstar. This character, he's the smartest man in the world, Isaac Asimov's Probe. They're on YouTube because they're never going to be on DVD. And the pilot is wonderful. The episodes are wonderful. I love this show so much. He's the smartest man of the 20th century. He lives in a warehouse by himself. He solves science-related mysteries that are really so cleverly written, but the banter between him and his everyday ordinary secretary that comes across in the first episode, played wonderfully by Ashley Crowe, is the greatest thing about it. In 2014, I went to Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida. He was there. I walked up to his table, and he had a picture from Probe that he said he never puts that picture out. I bought the picture, got his autograph, talked to him. He said, "I can't believe you remember the show. No one remembers it. I really liked it, but it's been so long." And I told him, "Oh, man, I love it." He gave me his card. We talked. We spent that whole convention hanging out. I helped him with his panel. Parker Stevenson is a stand-up guy, a great guy. We became kind of buddies, so much so that I never called him and bugged him because I didn't want to bother him at the time. I wanted to get him on the show back then, but he was a busy man, and I should have. I'm an idiot for not calling him back. But 6 months later, he goes to a con way up north somewhere. A buddy of mine went there and told me that I'd met him. And he remembered me. I couldn't believe it. But so Parker Stevenson is a great dude, underrated actor. The character of Austin James on Isaac Asimov's Probe was one of the great characters I've ever loved. And I've watched that show. I memorized the episodes. Very simple but brilliant plots, all with murder mysteries using science. I love it. Raquel, if you ever get a chance, they're on YouTube, everyone. Again, no one will like it as much as me, but you might get something out of it. I had to buy, like I said, I had to buy a bootleg to get the complete copies. You can watch them on YouTube. They don't. When I watch them on YouTube, they're kind of I notice little bits in here and there that are missing because they cut for commercials and different things. But that's because I watched the original so much when they first aired. It's a brilliant show. Isaac Asimov created it, and he was the executive. He was one of the producers and one of the consultants. The character of Austin James is a genius. It's sort of Doctor Who without the science fiction, more the science fact type stories. And I hope more people can watch it. It was 1988. I'm going to do a show about it soon. I wasn't big on the Hardy Boys, so that's why I didn't want to watch it, because I'm going on Parker Stevenson. And man, anyway, I got his phone number. I'm going to call him one day and say, it's been since 2014, man, but come on the show with me. And anyone who ever gets to see it, I hope you like it. You might, again, I may be hyping it much. You might not think it's a big deal. But it's so brilliant. And it is on Pro. I mean, it was on YouTube last time I checked. It probably still is. So if any of you ever see it, let me know. You know, and even though it was made just for me, I would lovingly share it with all my dear friends. I told him, I said, dude, that show was just for me. He said, man, I never put this picture out. I don't know why I had it out here. He said, because he was in North and South. He was in the Hardy Boys. He was in a lot of stuff. By the way, Dirk Benedict was at that con, and they're best buddies. You know, he used to be married to Kirstie, Parker Stevenson was. But a great guy. Well, you are too kind, Raquel. If you ever get a chance, let me know what you think. Be honest. Like I say, all my friends who've watched it really liked it, but I'm a nut for it. I don't know why. It's simple. The weakest episode is really good, and the greatest one. I mean, oh man, the last episode called "Quit It" is one of my favorite things I've ever seen on television, and the first episode's pretty damn good too. So, yeah, Parker Stevenson, really good dude though. You know what? I'm gonna call him up and say, you won't remember me, dude, but you got to come on the show, and he'll do it. What a cool gentleman he was. Let's see here. Pro Wikipedia, sort of modern version of Johnny Quest. Tom Swinton. Well, Austin James, an asocial genius who solves high-tech crimes. Yes, it doesn't have the Johnny Quest like where he goes out or anything. I love that he lives in this great old warehouse. And in the first episode, he gets a second. He actually created and owns this giant scientific research company, worldwide corporation, but he hates it, so he never goes there. And yes, if you put probe, you get the Ford probe. You got to put Isaac Asimov. But I love it anyway. So, and again, that makes me want to watch another one. And it's been like a whole month or two since I watched one. And you can imagine how much it crushes me that there are only 7 episodes. Well, you know, the thing is, it was on Thursday nights, Raquel, at the time in 1980, and it was up against Cosby. I mean, they put it in a death slot. And so it just didn't last long. And when I was I had my comic book shop at the time, and some guy came in and sold me an unshot script for it. And later, when I had to move my shop, it got lost in the shuffle, and I'm so mad I lost that damn unshot script. The one that kills me. I had a lot of Star Trek unshot scripts, and I was collecting unshot scripts, and I don't have that one anymore. I'm going to try to find it one day. But watch party would be great. Like I say, I would, you know, I'd love it. I remember Hard Time on Planet Earth. That didn't last very long. Eastland, I remember that. Martin Cove. Interesting idea. They didn't stay on very long. Raquel, I hear you. Love some watch parties. Yeah, that's crazy. It would have been so big. You know, it would have been, you know how Sherlock was big because he was sort of like the antisocial type of character. Austin James is sort of that, except he's not a complete scumbag. He's a really good dude, but he's infuriating to people because he's basically Sherlock Holmes in the sense that he could look at you and tell he deduces like Sherlock Holmes. And what's great about this, you wouldn't think Parker Stevenson, of all people, could play a brilliant, like the smartest man who ever lived, brilliant character the way he does. Obviously, it's acting, I know that. But he plays him so perfectly. I've always used to think, you know, maybe since that show didn't make it, someone should try to bring him back and do it. And I'm going, no, because no one else could play him like that. Ashley Crow, you've only seen in a few other things later. She was really great as the secretary, Mickey Castle. I love her to death. She's fantastic on that show. And there have been many, many shows that, of course, people would see with geniuses. This one, however, he's not really antisocial that much. He lives alone. In the first episode, one of his colleagues accuses him of, quote, brooding in that warehouse like a spoiled god. You know, so he can be a snob. But okay, Raquel. Thank you so much, dear. You are fantastic, and I can't wait to see you again. You are wonderful. Love you so much. You take care. Death by Saber. Hey, man, everyone, um, the wonderful Raquel, she is amazing. I love you, love you, love you. You are fantastic. Good to see you there, Death by Saber. Yeah, there you go, Doug. Well, I've always thought about writing a book with the characters. No one would care about it because they wouldn't even know what the show, know the show. But I've actually used to think about it. It would just be kind of fan fictiony, probably. You know. Well, yeah, yeah. There's the thing. Parker Stevenson is really a great actor, but I didn't know that when I saw this. I thought, I thought, look, I'm guilty. I thought, pretty boy. He was on Tiger Beat with his was it Sean Cassidy? I mean, nothing against the Hardy Boys. It was when I went to the panel, his panel after I met him at that con, this guy's such a cool dude that he saw the podium and there was not a gigantic number of people there. He said, I don't like looking down on people. So he took a chair and took it into the audience and said, let's just all gather around and talk. And I thought that was pretty cool. I sat with him and helped him with I was not part of the con. I just sat there and all of a sudden he and I started talking about different things. And I ended up, I don't know how I did it, but I guess I sort of ended up like moderating the panel. I don't know why that happened. But later when we talked, I mean, he walked by and said, thanks for all the help you gave me at the panel. I didn't think I did really, but we'd gotten together. I had a couple friends of mine, my wonderful retro blasting buddies, and it was a great time. One of the greatest times I've ever had her at a con. It turned out that Parker Stevenson had gone to that one because when they asked him, it was in Pensacola, and his father had served in the Air Force at Pensacola base, and he'd never had a chance to go back and visit it. So that was part of his trip there, as well as being part of that con. He's a big photographer too, or whatever. And like I said earlier, he's good friends with Dirk Benedict, who was at this con, so got to hang out with him too. He was great. There were a lot of cool people at this con that were amazing. But yeah, Parker Stevenson, um, great dude. And the more I think about him, I just need to call the guy and said, "Hey, man, I wanted to get him on before. Look, he's the one that gave me his card, said he'd be on the show, and I didn't follow up on it because at the time I didn't think he would come on some silly little podcast that he said he would, and I was just being an ass because I am one. But man, that would be fantastic, and I'm going to do it. I want to get Parker Stevenson on this show one day. And speaking of upcoming shows, we're going to be Monday night. Yeah, Starbucks. Oh man, Monday night we were talking about the works of Alan Moore. What happened to me at that con was pretty hilarious. Doug, uh, my good buddies, my good retro blasting buddies, Michael and Melinda, we were getting on the elevator at the con. This con was the first year of Pensacon, and it was believe it or not, it was at a hockey rink with a hotel next to it. And we get on the elevator, and some dude in a scraggly old army jacket that I did not know, I thought it was just some old guy, right? And we get on the elevator, and he starts, bantering back and forth with my friends, and especially my lady friend Melinda. I didn't know who he was. Just thought he was some old dude. I got to be honest. This is 2014, and he the elevator gets off, and those two are just going nuts. Oh my god! That's what they're so excited about. This was Dirk Benedict. It was Face Man. It was Starbuck. I said, that was Dirk. Oh my god, I'm such a friggin' idiot. I didn't know that was Dirk Benedict. Holy shit. but later we got to talk to him a lot and hang out with him because it was the first year of Pensacon. And we had a great time, and he was really cool. Crusty old bastard, which we loved about him, but a great dude. Again, he was good friends with Dirk Benedict. There were a lot of cool people at that con. I've been to a lot of cons and met a lot of my favorite people I'm fans of, and it's not always the greatest experience, but sometimes it is. But sometimes they disappoint you, and other times they're cool. Other times it's really really great to meet them. So uh, anyway, man, look, it's just well, there we go. Oh, look, Jobber. Well, I'm sorry, I keep giving you secret identity away, my friend. A long-time buddy from the old BTR days, Just Joe 47, aka the fabulous Jobber. Hey, bro, Jobber, good to see you, my friend. As always, STTNG was a classic example of a clunky first season. The second season didn't have a lot, a great, but at least the show looked better and the cast were more comfortable with the roles. Yeah, a lot of people have say that, and there's a lot of truth to that. There, Job. Personally, I like the counter at Farpoint, and I think from there were a lot of There were some good ones in the first season. Actually, toward the end, there were a couple of good ones here and there. I really liked Conspiracy, and actually some of the other ones. But in the second season, there was a writer strike going on, but there was still one of the ones that made both my list and the wonderful Raquel's list, which was Measure of a Man, was in the second season. So true, but they said there were some nice spots in there as well. Let's see here. Yeah, 12. Doomcock turned black. There you go. Yeah, Alan Moore. Look, a lot of people don't agree now. It's had a lot of years. Watchmen only exists in one way, and it's this. We're going to be talking Alan Moore's work. The works of Alan Moore, Monday night. And to me, this is Watchmen. I used to consider myself the ultimate Watchmen freak and fanatic. I collected, still have it all. Everything at the time. You have to understand, in the 80s, Watchmen had some great collectible stuff, but not compared to the kind of merchandising they would do today. But there was a lot of stuff, and I have it all. And not only did I collect every little knickknack about Watchmen. I got every magazine article, and I got every edition of the books. I got every edition of the portfolios, the trades, the hardcovers. And back then, it wasn't easy to, it wasn't the same. I have the French portfolio, the American portfolio. In fact, I have I think the French special edition portfolio that's signed by Moore and Gibbons. I'll never get Alan Moore's autograph other than that. I'll never meet him to get his autograph. I'm the comedian. That's right. What happened to the American dream? It came true. You're looking at it. Let's go put these jokers through some changes. Yes, I'm bad. I could quote Watchmen backwards and forwards. But I love this book. It caused a lot of trouble. Alan Moore was right about some things. Sometimes something wonderful can cause a lot of bad things, and something bad can cause good things to happen. Chains of events are weird. This is one of the most brilliant uses of the storytelling medium of comics ever, in my opinion. It's a masterpiece, in my opinion. I thought the movie by Zack Snyder caught a lot of the visual. It caught a lot of the visuals of it. It caught a lot of the visual aesthetic very well. It captured a lot of that. A lot of it did translate the film well, but he made a lot of bumbles and he ruined the ending. He did a lot of stuff they shouldn't have done. It's still fairly enjoyable as a popcorn film with too much, but too dark for a popcorn film. He didn't really know what he was doing. I was part of the message boards leading up to the film in 2008, leading up to the release of it in 2009, where he kept telling a whole bunch of us he was going to get the ending right. He just either was lying or I don't know what happened. But I don't know. Let's see what's it. Imagine that. Yeah, comedians should go to the Chud in Portland. I'm all for that, Doug. But Snyder translated it visually very well. He added a bunch of stupid camp crap and ruined the ending, son of a bitch. But it's still infinitely better than that piece of trash on HBO, Wokeman. No question about it. But it's peanuts, it's popcorn. So it's just like, I really like the V for Vendetta film. It has a lot of the weight and gravitas of the comic, but it skimps on a lot of it. I'm not too thrilled with the way they end it, and it's still peanuts compared to the comic book. And it's a good movie. I like V for Vendetta. Are you saying Fight's a bad guy? No. I loved it when they, in the comic when they realized that Rorschach even says Vite. Can't imagine a more dangerous, adversary, and he was right. What's going on over there? Oops, sorry. I had to. I beat you with problem mess. I a little bit of a tech issue. I'm not going to run much longer anyway, guys. But yes, Alan Moore, though, this is what he'll be known for the most. But I'm going to cover a lot of his obscure works way before Watchmen and some of them after. And he did a lot of great stuff. I mean, there's a gigantic body of work that Carlos and I are going to cover Monday night about Alan Moore. For those who may not be familiar with it, Alan Moore did some brilliant stuff even before he went to DC. For 2000 AD, for Warrior magazine, for Marvel UK, and then later after Watchmen, of course. When he got sick of DC. Watchmen never should have been touched by DC. After doing a movie's one thing, putting them in doing the after Watchmen garbage, and then especially putting them with they're doing what they're doing currently in the DC now. No, and that's not Watchmen. I mean, having Dr. Manhattan involved with the DC universe, Jeff Johns, you're a shark jumper, dude. That sucks, man. Just my opinion. Some people like it, I guess. I don't know. This is Watchmen. If it's not Moore and Gibbons, it's not Watchmen. I know Moore doesn't care about it anymore. If you'll pardon the pun, which wasn't really a pun. Not really a pun. It just sounded like one. But yeah. What can you do? But this is still a masterpiece. And if any of you have not read some of his superhero work, Marvel, he didn't do much Marvel. Excuse me. So his DC work, man, it's awesome stuff. And we'll be talking about not just the big ones like this one or a Swamp Thing, which a lot of people know about, but we're going to talk about a lot of his other stuff too. Sure, Doug. I got it. I can when I get a chance. If you need me to send that to Mando, your email, I'll be glad to do that. Just got to remind me, and I'll be glad to do that once we get off of here. And then of course Tuesday night, I'm going to talk to the author of that Star Trek comic. So, good stuff lined up. I know you know this one, Doug Oberg. Yeah, you know what, Eric? If I were smart, I would have let Gary and Doomcock watch the Wokeman TV show for me too. But as a Watchmen fanatic, I'm forced myself to sit through that trash, dude. Yeah, the movie has enjoyable stuff. The opening credits of the movie are great, by the way. I like that part. Smart Steve 68, my friend, thank you for being here, buddy. You have a great night. I really appreciate you showing up, my friend. I appreciate all of you being here. It's really amazing. Oversold you? What? Did I oversell you, or if you mean Mando? Doug? Who's doing the overselling here? Was it me, or was it? I don't know. I don't know. If it was me, I didn't mean to. Didn't do it on purpose. You familiar with this one, Doc? This is I was popping pictures up like an idiot for the fun of it. This is the cover from Volume 1 of the Steranko History of Comics from 1960. It was like 8 or 9 or whatever. Oh, I got you. I'm sorry, Doug. I see what you mean. I will definitely switch your emails, dudes. So if you got to make sure I don't forget about it. You know my memory. I had Volume 2 also, but this was the wraparound cover for I think Volume 1 of the Steranko History of Comics. Again, it was 68, 69, something like that. Maybe 70. Exactly when it came out. You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I still have them, though. It's a prized possession. You'll see Steranko do the DC characters that much. Eastland, same deal. I hate the chibi Doctor Who. It is filth beyond filth, and yeah, I wish I could have let Gary and the guys watch that one for me as well. It's yeah. I think I'm not. You know what, Doug? I think they may have done a reprint a long time. If I'm not mistaken, I think they did some hardcover reprints of this, but it may have been in the 80s or 90s. But I'm fairly sure they did it at some point. Remember, it's called the History of Comics, and it goes up to like 1970 almost. So it's history from Golden and most of the Silver Age, of course. I don't know if he updated it, but there were 2 volumes. And I have them. I don't know if they did any updating, but I do believe there was a hardcover reprint at some point, but I could be mistaken. It just seems like I think I remember there being one. Again, you guys know my old man memory, so could be playing tricks on me. It could be playing tricks on me. These Marvel Legends figures. I had to swear off figures because they're too expensive and I can't get any more. But when it came to FF, I had to have them. I'm going to tell you. Who'd have ever thought there'd been a day when we would have been amused by having a Herbie figure? The history of the good old days, indeed, my friend. That sure was, buddy. Yeah, I love it. And I love Steranko, man. He is the coolest. Yep. All right. Well, I cannot. Yeah, these are really good. I have many FF action figures. These are recent. These were the FF ones now. The behind, as you can see, there's Thundra back there and Silver Surfer. Herbie comes in the box with he's in the box with Sue Richards. But the Hasbro is that going to be some kind of exclusive? The Hasbro Sentinel, Doug? Because I've had to cut. I mean, FF, I had to make an exception. I couldn't live without these. These were annoyingly, these FF figures were a Walgreens exclusive, which sucks. I don't know much about I would like to get the Sentinel. I'm sure it's going to be expensive, but I probably stop myself. Every now and then I break down and grab one of these cool Marvel Legends figures. Actually, you know, I love these. I would have done Johnny a little bit different. I don't like him having the 4 on his flaming. It needs to be redder anyway. The bin figure, there are better thing figures, but it's a good one. But I'll tell you what, the Hasbro Sentinel, I bet if it's gigantic, I don't know, man. That's got to be if they're going to make it scale to the X-Men figures they've done. I have a friend getting those X-Men figures. And as much as I can't stand Hasbro, some of these figures have been doing them pretty amazing. Oh, there's a okay. Oh, good. Thanks, man. I'll check that out. I like to see it's a big sucker, huh? I have a Galactus. He's pretty. I have a couple Galactuses. I also have a very very big Fantasticar. Ah, my great friend out there, uh, Mr. Cruz Crockett, the great Chris. He's my go-to guy about Hasbro information. He tells me the Sentinel is a HasLab exclusive. Deadline. It's one of those HasLabs I see by 350 buckarooskies. Oh man, are you getting that one, Chris? Let me know if you are. I can't stand HasLab personally, but some people are into it. That's cool. So, but for 350, no. I bet it looks good. I will bet it looks good, but no. I mean, let's see. No, he's my friend's not even going to get it either. I'm sure some people are getting that thing, but I don't know. Thanks, bud. I appreciate the info on that. I had not even heard of it till Doug mentioned it. So that's cool. I'm sure it's a cool figure. I'm not big on their HasLab, the whole HasLab scheme. Let's see here. Oh, it's Paulie. Let's see. No problem. Oh man, Paulie, dude. Sorry, everyone. I have to answer Paulie here. Yeah, texted me. Sorry, everyone. I'm vamping you. Anyway, well, I guess I'm gonna cut out, man. It's been a couple hours. Did 4 hours last night, and I'm sure you all have better things to do than hang out with my old ass. But I cannot tell you how much fun it has been just shooting the shite about just different stuff, you know. And you can hear my text going on. But I just wanted to pop on and do a little live streaming. I'm gonna do plenty of the just the open stuff, where just anything goes type stuff. But I want to say, of course, thanks for everyone for being here. Hey, Mando, Mark, dude, one of these days soon, if you're still hearing me, one of these nights soon, I would hope we could just have another a comic book confab, brother. Because it is always fun talking some comics with you. And anyone, by the way, go check out and subscribe to his channel. Anyone else out there who has a channel to plug? I mean, I know I'm not much of a place to plug anything. I don't have a lot of subs either. But I will say that tonight we hit a landmark thanks to the great Paulie. And he even mentioned 150 subs thanks to the great Paulie. Even if that one of those subs goes away, what the hell? We did hit 150 at one point. And so we put X-Men 150 up there to celebrate. Doug Oberg, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the beautiful, wonderful, amazing Raquel Briggs. The other beautiful lady who popped in here, of course, the wonderful purple Valkyrie, the beautiful lady, another lovely lady popped in as well. Moira Kitty popped in earlier. We had some ladies here tonight, man. We some little Fonzies, aren't we? So that was cool. Doug Oberg, it is always a pleasure, sir. You are the man, and I'm so happy to see you here, buddy. It really makes me happy to see you pop in. The great Eastland Burkholder. Oh, thanks, buddy. 152. Appreciate it. The extraordinary Wrench and great guy, the great Eric K. Eric, my friend, I am so honored that you popped in, buddy. Thank you so much, man. And who else was here? We got, of course, Paulie joining with me. I want to thank Paulie for being here. He made it happen tonight. He was fantastic. Smart Steve, who was here earlier. Smart Steve, thank you so much for being here, my friend. It's great to make friends with you. You're a cool dude. Appreciate it so much. So many great guys popping in and out. My good buddy Jobber, the great Joe, 47. Of course. It's tough to remember everybody because, again, you all know my old man memory. But I do appreciate it. Death by Saber popped in earlier. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I think Tim Hayes was here earlier. And yeah, anyone else who did, if I've forgotten you, just forgive me because I'm old. I forget stuff. That's just where I am. But you're all fantastic, and thank you all for helping me hit the 150. I don't know if I'll stream again before Monday. If I do, who knows? I'll let everyone know. Probably not, though. Thank you, Eric, again so much, buddy. Man, you were the man. We got to hang again soon, buddy. It was great being on some streams with you there, my friend. Oh, the great Loki popped in earlier. Loki is the man, and so Loki, you are the dude. And I'm not here. I'm probably not hearing this now because I know you're tired, but I'm going to say the thank you anyway. I'm also going to say thank you to Loki for the great intro outro that he made for me. And again, thank you all. Mando, all you guys, have a great, great night. And Monday night, any of you are interested in Alan Moore, knowing about his works and so many things he's done, please stop on in. And even if you're not interested in that, stop in and hang out and say hi. So thank you all. Have a great night.